Welcome to Tier2Tickets and Helpdesk Buttons. In this short video, we will teach you the basics of what to expect with Tier 2 tickets as a technician. We'll go over what your users see, the ticket workflow we expect you to experience, and the tools that are available to you as a part of Tier 2 Tickets and Helpdesk Buttons. Together, this suite of tools is meant to help you solve problems faster and more efficiently, giving you more time to solve interesting technical aspects of your job instead of fighting administrative overhead. First, let's walk through what your users can expect with the Tier 2 Tickets software. Tier 2 Tickets allows your users a one-stop method to contact you, either by clicking the physical Helpdesk button, a hotkey programmable to be F1 through F11, a desktop icon, or a pinned to taskbar icon. As soon as the user launches our software, we start collecting a whole arsenal of real-time diagnostic information that we compile into a flagged report. This also includes going back in time 20 actions to create an instant replay of exactly what the user did to create their error. But for now, the important thing to note is that for the end user's experience, we tried to make this as simple as possible. They don't have to remember any passwords, and in fact, they don't have to remember their email because we have an LDAP AD custom identity provider integration that grabs your user's logged in credentials. That way, they don't have to even type in their email. Additionally, if they've successfully submitted a ticket previously, it will also autocomplete that email. This ticket is submitted to your ticketing system as the user attached to this email address. So, even if they put in the wrong email address or mistype their email address or use a personal email address, we will still submit the ticket just underneath a catch-all account that you can go back and reassign later. For the user request itself, we again make it very easy for them. We don't want to require users to answer anything technical or have to know anything remotely technical. So hopefully they'll give you a good description on their problem, but it's also possible they may not. That's where you can rely on a report to get clarity on what the problem actually is. So let's put in a ticket together. We'll do a simple one. Hey, I forgot my password. All of these checkboxes and radio buttons are customizable to fit your company's workflow, so these may look different at your help desk. Regardless, each of these selection items are valuable because through our automations, our software can give your users dynamic actions or even triage tickets to specific technicians, queues, or categories as they enter your ticketing system based on what they say their problem is. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. This page is a review and consent screen. The main point of showing you this page is just to make sure that you're aware of it. A lot of people want to know that we're taking care of security, and affirmative consent is a part of that. Let's hit submit. What it's doing right now is it's checking in the ticketing system to see if the user is a contact in your ticketing system. Like we said earlier, we're looking at that email address. Once our system sees that the user is a contact in that system, it submits the ticket as that user, and you can also see a dynamic action here based on my password request, providing a link to go to a password reset. At the same time, in the bottom right-hand corner here, you can see that we had a toast notification pop up. This is a feature available for the integrations that support webhooks. Automatic toast notifications on ticket status change, a little feature that shows the end user what's going on, that there's activity on their request. Ultimately, the ticket has been submitted, and there's a little bit of information here for the user to be able to follow along with to know with confidence that their ticket has been received by your company. If for any reason the user is unable to submit a ticket through this process, likely because their computer isn't connected to the internet or there's some other intermittent problem, we actually have a ticket submission process that allows them to submit the ticket through a QR code. This is what that looks like. In this case, since we can't communicate with the ticketing system, we will ask them what their business name, their business or cell phone number is, so that we can know who and how to contact them, and they will be added to the body of the ticket that you receive. Only one of the phone numbers is required. And what we do with this, since the user is unable to directly submit a ticket, we take all that information that they just filled out and we compress it into this QR code, along with 10 network diagnostic tests, which the user can then scan with their native camera app on their Android or iOS device. This action will submit a ticket on your user's behalf. This is very useful for identifying what's wrong with their computer when you can't even remote in. You'll know if there's a cable unplugged, or even if there's a packet storm, things that would be otherwise very difficult to diagnose without going on site first. So the user submission process is very straightforward and easy. And yes, there are a few things that are very slick and clever in there that are worth knowing about and training your users so that it can make your life easier. So at this point, the ticket will be submitted to your ticketing system, whether via API or our email connector. With that, you will receive a self-diagnosing report and an instant replay with every ticket. Let's look at what you can expect in your ticketing system. For this demonstration, we are going to look at a ticketing system called ConnectWise Manage, but we do have integrations with over 15 different ticketing systems, so you can follow along with the basic concepts here. Every time the form process is completed, you will receive a ticket with our self-diagnosing report, instant replay of the user's last 20 actions, and our attached tools. As mentioned, if their email is not in the system, it's submitted as an unregistered user. You will receive tickets the same way you've always done in your ticketing system, and you can open up and work a given ticket the same way that you always do. The ticket will be submitted as that user, and the appropriate properties given to that person in your CRM will be applied, like associated company, contact information, or SLAs. As a note on that ticket, you'll have the results of that form that they filled out, including their hostname and the logged in user. And as an internal or private note, you'll have a link to our report. To review the report, you'll click here. As an aside, if your company is opted into Toast notifications, any notes or reassignments or other work that you do on these tickets can be conveyed via Toast notification automatically to your end users. The goal of this is to make sure that the work that you do in this ticket is visible to the end user, because sometimes that's the hardest part of our job, not the technical part, but the constant communication and management of expectations part. These Toast notifications are a way to passively let your end user know that you're actively working on their problem. If the ticket has been submitted by a QR code, you'll also have a note here with those 10 diagnostic tests. This information will also be on the report that you receive. Whenever you close a ticket, the user can also get a Toast notification that the ticket has been closed. While talking about ticketing systems and tickets, you may also want to talk to your admin or your team about saving triage time with dispatcher rules. Through our AI and automations that are built in Python, you can triage tickets based on the message the user writes, the selections they make, or even some identifying information about them like email address or domain. With these automations, our software can assign tickets to specific priorities, categories, queues, or technicians as they enter your ticketing system. So no more touching a ticket multiple times just to identify what's happening and who needs to work that ticket. You can just use these rules to cut down on the amount of overhead and administrative work that you're doing, just to be able to determine where it needs to go for your reporting. Now I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about the tools that are available to you in both the report and within our portal. As mentioned previously, most everything that you're going to need is going to be in the report that you will receive as a link in every ticket in your ticketing system. However, we do have a few tools available in the Tier2Tickets Helpdesk Buttons portal that are worth taking a look at. Let's take a look at the report. This is the thing that is going to make your job easier and better. Most RMMs gather about a third of this data, but it takes a long time to dig through, and it's never real time. The magic here is that we've captured a snapshot of the machine at the exact second the user had a problem, and we've already flagged anything that could potentially be an issue. This gives you a huge head start on figuring out the problem at hand. The first thing you'll notice on the report is the summary across the top. We have grouped things that we have flagged as problematic and summarized them into sections that you may want to take a look at. You can click on each of these sections and jump down to that specific area of the report. On the next line, you'll notice that we have remote access tools, Tech Connect, our remote terminal, and our chat tool. You can click this to jump right into the user's computer from the browser without needing to download any plugins. It's all HTML5, so you can even do this from your iPad, tablet, or smartphone if you're mobile. You will also note in a prominent location our instant replay, a very valuable tool for seeing exactly what the end user meant by "it's disappearing," or you could follow along to see exactly what steps they took to create the error at hand. On the report, the screenshot listed here is the last image taken before the user pressed their button. The instant replay is a fantastic tool for identifying exactly what was going on with the user. In this instant replay, you can download the entire slideshow or an individual frame to send to a vendor, colleague, or manager to help resolve the problem at hand. Right below the instant replay, you'll also see our human trust verification. This is a useful tool for identifying if the person who submitted the ticket is who they say they are. What we do is gather the MAC address, IP address, logged in user, and email. And whenever you or your fellow technicians confirm their identity, you can toggle this on as trusted. The next time someone has submitted a ticket and those 4 items line up, the ticket will come in as trusted. You'll then have a knee-jerk check that the user is who they say they are. If any of those 4 items don't line up, they will come in as untrusted, so you'll have a plausible, tangible reason to check in with the user and make sure that they in fact are the person asking for certain files or password resets. Also on this report, you will note that there are multiple links throughout. These are curated links that will take you to high-ranking results from reputable websites. This means if you don't remember what a certain executable is and you're wondering why it's running hot on a user's computer, we'll take you somewhere that'll explain what's going on with it. Or if you're wondering what this error or warning message means, the curated link will take you somewhere that will not only give you a summary of the problem, but also possibly how to resolve it. Portal-side tools that may be valuable to you can be found on our device management page. Here, you can send push notifications to entire groups of people, push software updates to individual endpoints, and you can also remotely uninstall software for devices that you're offboarding on demand. As alluded to earlier, another tool set would be our automations. These include our dispatcher rules, our Tier 2 assists, our Tier 2 forms, and our push notifications. These are mentioned in another video, and they're optional but worth considering if you're looking to save yourself time and number of touches on a ticket. In this video, we talked about what to expect from Tier 2 tickets as a technician. We discussed what your user sees and some of the valuable tools hidden within that form process. We talked about the ticket workflow, how you receive a ticket, how end users are contacted based on what you do with that ticket, and how to access the self-diagnosing report with every ticket. We talked about the different tools that you have now available at your disposal. We also discussed briefly other automations that you can customize to save yourself time and energy, and also give your end users actions that they can complete while they're still thinking about the problem at hand. We built Tier 2 Tickets and Helpdesk Buttons with the goal of making technicians' lives easier, saving you time and reducing the need to chase down users for more information. If at any point there's a feature or a test that would save you time or make your job easier, please don't hesitate to let us know at support@tier2.tech. We look forward to working with you as you enjoy experiencing perfect tickets every time.